Once upon a time, there was a group of warriors who embarked on a cattle raid. During their journey, one of the warriors encountered a problem when his sandal broke. He had to stop and repair it, asking his comrades to wait for him. However, they insisted that he should catch up with them later instead. This happened multiple times as he encountered different groups of warriors along the way. Each time, he would ask them to wait for him, but they would tell him to catch up with the last warrior instead. Eventually, the last warrior came by, and the warrior with the broken sandal pleaded for him to wait. In response, the last warrior suggested a solution. He told the warrior with the broken sandal to place a branch on the path they would take at the fork, so he could follow that path and catch up with them. The warrior with the broken sandal agreed and hurriedly went to catch up with the others, leaving the branch behind. As he continued his journey, a strong wind blew off the branch to a different path. When the warrior with the broken sandal reached the spot, he found the branch and followed the path it lay upon, hoping to catch up with his friends. Along the way, he encountered the moon grazing and stopped to admire it. The moon asked him where he came from and where he was going. The warrior replied that he was from home, and they were on a cattle raid. He also mentioned how the other warriors had left him behind due to his broken sandal. The moon then asked the warrior how it looked, to which he replied that it looked fine. The moon imparted some instructions to the warrior. It told him not to mention how others looked when he came across them, but to simply say that they looked fine. It also advised him not to take anything along the way. In situations where he had a choice between a good and a bad thing, the moon instructed him to choose the bad thing. Accepting these instructions, the warrior continued his journey. Soon, he came upon a river with flowing water. The river spoke to him, offering a drink before he crossed. The warrior declined, saying he would drink from the other side after crossing. He crossed the river without drinking. He encountered a river of milk next, and it also requested him to drink before crossing. Once again, the warrior declined and crossed without drinking. The same happened with a river of blood. As the warrior continued on his journey, he came across two swords that were sharpening themselves. They asked him to sharpen them, and in return, he could take the sharpest one. The warrior, however, told them he would come back to sharpen them later and proceeded on his way. He also encountered delicious-looking pieces of meat frying on their own. They asked him to stir them, and then he could eat the cooked one. But the warrior managed to trick the meat and left it without doing anything. Further along, the warrior found two axes that were fighting each other. They requested him to separate them, and in return, he could take one to his mother. The warrior told them to wait a little while, promising to return, and continued his journey without intervening in their fight. Throughout his journey, whenever the warrior encountered something, he played tricks with it and left without engaging with it. He left everything behind, following the instructions given by the moon. Eventually, he came across a man who had two heads and cattle with two tails. After exchanging greetings, the man asked the warrior how he found him. The warrior boldly answered that he had two heads. The man also asked how he found the cattle with two tails. The warrior replied that they were like any other cattle. The man then provided the warrior with directions to God's village, and they parted ways. The warrior reached the village, but noticed that it kept moving further away when he tried to enter. He swung his club and threw it at the village, causing it to stop. When the house moved away, he hit it with his club until it stopped as well. He followed the moving stool and managed to sit on it. Inside the house, he met an old lady who belonged to God's family. After exchanging greetings and news, the old lady asked the warrior if he wanted fresh or stale milk. The warrior replied that he preferred stale milk since there was plenty of it. However, he was given fresh milk instead. Before bedtime, the old lady asked him if he wanted curdled or fresh milk. The warrior chose fresh milk, but he was given curdled milk. When it was time to retire for the night, the old lady asked the warrior if he wanted a bed cleared of dust or not. The warrior chose the latter, and the old lady gave him a bed with ashes. Despite all these instances where he expressed a preference for good things, he received the opposite. The next morning, the old lady instructed the warrior to stay inside and remain quiet when he heard the sound of thunder. However, as soon as he heard the thunder, he couldn't resist going outside to check what was happening. This repeated several times until the old lady allowed him to go. Outside, the warrior discovered a large herd of cattle, sheep, goats, and donkeys. The old lady told him that all of it belonged to him, and he could take it and go in peace. The warrior drove the animals and returned to his country through a different route. When he neared his village, the other warriors who had given up on their companion saw clouds of dust from a distance. They had assumed he had been eaten by wild beasts and had mourned his loss. To their surprise, the warrior arrived with an enormous herd of animals. When asked how he obtained them, he recounted his entire experience in God's country. His companions had returned empty-handed, while he had achieved great wealth. Upon hearing this story, the brother of the fortunate warrior decided to go to God's country to seek his own fortune. However, his brother warned him against it, as he believed he was not capable of accomplishing what he had done. Despite the warning, the brother insisted on going. He encountered the moon and had a similar conversation. When he reached the rivers, he drank from each before crossing. He also sharpened the swords, cooked the meat, and separated the fighting axes, following the instructions that his brother had neglected. Upon reaching God's village, he managed to stop the moving gate and house using his club. He chose the bed cleared of dust, curdled milk, and all the good things. However, when he failed to follow the instructions of staying still when he heard the thunder, the old lady saw that he did not want property and sent him back empty-handed. The moral of the story is that in life, if you seek righteousness but only rely on weapons and take the easy route, you will not achieve true righteousness. To fulfill your dreams, you must work hard, take the difficult path, and never give up. Following these rules will lead you to success and abundance, just like the warrior who returned to his village with thousands of cattle, sheep, goats, and donkeys. And that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoy the captivating story we shared with you. But before we go, let's take a moment to reflect on the valuable lessons we can learn from this ancient tale. The story reminds us of the importance of perseverance and determination. Just like the warrior with the broken sandal, we encounter obstacles on our journey towards success. But it's crucial not to give up easily, and instead find creative solutions to overcome challenges. Another significant lesson is the power of making wise choices. The warrior was given various options throughout his adventure, and he consistently chose the more challenging path. This teaches us that taking the easy way out might lead to missed opportunities, while embracing the difficult path can lead to greater rewards. Moreover, the story highlights the significance of looking beyond appearances. When the warrior encountered the two-headed man and the unique cattle, he didn't judge them based on their differences. Instead, he treated them with respect and gained valuable insights from their encounter. This reminds us to embrace diversity and approach others with an open mind. So, my dear viewers, let's apply these lessons to our own lives. Let's strive for excellence, make wise choices, and embrace diversity. By doing so, we can overcome obstacles and achieve our dreams. Thank you all for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Feel free to share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. Remember, together we can create a positive and supportive community. Stay motivated, keep working hard, and never give up on your dreams. Until next time, take care, stay blessed, and see you in the next video.